Well, hey Ceramics 1 students, it's Mrs. New here. We are ready for project 3 of the pinch pot unit. You guys, this is the last one of these projects that I'm going to be assigning, and then you get to do some choice work. So let's go ahead and talk about the cut top box project, you guys. We are going to be making a little functional box. It is going to have, an ability to hold something, and it will also have a key. So here's the little key on that one. It does need to have a sculptural handle. So you got to have something up there that you can grab and take your lid off of with. Here's one that's pretty cute. Look at those little leaves up there on the top. But the box itself is decorated. It says fall. We've got some pumpkins and leaves going all the way around. I can go ahead and grab that leaf, take off the lid. This one has a nice curved cut to it, so that's another option. So this project really involves stages of dryness. So we're going to be talking about leather hard clay. We're going to be talking about why that's important before cutting a lid. This is one I made with my little art teacher apron on there and my little art supplies and a little palette of paint. So we need to be thinking about, what's going to go in our box. What are we going to use our box for? And thinking about it being sculptural handle, kind of sculpted all the way around, but it is a functional thing. So as always, first thing to do, sketch out some ideas, come up with an idea or a concept. We are going to be using pinch pots for this, so let's go ahead and get started on day 1 of this project. I'm going to set my examples aside now that you got to see what those look like, and I'm going to go back to my clay bag. Now, if you are out of clay, go ahead and come back to the supply table. Get yourself a bigger piece of clay. Make sure you have enough to start this. And then whatever piece of clay you get, you're going to break it into 2 even parts and start with your 2 snowballs. So this project starts almost exactly like the rattle project that we just did. So you guys are getting pretty good at making these pinch pots now. It's amazing to think how many different things we can do with pinch pots. But I'm going to start kneading my clay, waking it up, getting it ready for making 2 pinch pots. I want my 2 snowballs to be about the same size. And again, starting just like the pinch pot creature, the rattle project that we just finished, I'm going to start with 2 pinch pots of equal size, not too thick, not too thin, same diameter on the edge there, on the lip, because I'm going to be slipping and scoring these together to create the body of the box. So I'm not worried about the sculptural handle quite yet. Right now I'm just building the body of the box. See all these big finger marks? I need to back up. I'm trying to go a little too fast here. But I'm going to slow down and to make my pinch pots and use my thumb and pull that clay up. And make sure that they're a nice size. Now, if you'd like to go a little bit bigger with this project, that's okay. Just make sure you get enough clay. Make sure your 2 pinch pots are the same size and shape. You can make these a little bit bigger, but they are kind of a small box. Now, in Ceramics 2, when you take that class, we make bigger boxes out of slabs. And we're still working pretty small here for these first couple projects. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, with my rattle, I put my 20 shakers in there. I don't need to do that. I'm not making a rattle, but I do need to slip and score it together. So I'm going to grab my fork. I'm going to grab my slip. Check your slip. If it feels dry and you need to kind of stir it up and add some water, sometimes the lids don't fit on there exactly, or the person before you didn't put the lid on very well. So at this point in the class, your slip jar might need a refill. You might need to add a little water and stir it around. So make sure you're working with some decent slip. Go ahead and cross hatch. Fork makes quick work of this, and you're going to slip and score this together. Now, if you can get this done pretty quickly, like maybe you just finished your rattle and put it on the greenware shelf, and if you can get this done and get this in a bag, that might help you, because really you got to get this done on day 1, and you cannot cut the lid until later on in this project. So cutting the lid is one of the last things that you do for this project. Now notice I'm rubbing that back and forth, little eraser fingers. I'm blending out that seam. I can put a little snake in there if I need to, but I'm just going pretty fast here. Now I'm going to roll it and smooth it. Now I don't want my box to be a sphere. If you do, that's fine. Let's say you're making a, I don't know, a basketball box or something like that. Now remember, you got to have a sculptural handle though. So what would be on the top of a basketball? I don't know, maybe a hoop. But for mine, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start by rolling it on the table and just smoothing it. But then I am going to start to shape it into more of a rectangle shape. Now, remember the bag of chips thing. I can't do too much shaping until I add a bit of a venting hole. So I'm going to add my venting hole. Now I can go in there. That air has someplace to go. And I can start to paddle this on the table. I could also use a ruler. There's a drawer of rulers over there that you can kind of smack this around. But I find the table works pretty well just to kind of shape it into a rectangle. I like to have a rectangle, and I'm going to have something here on the top. Now guess what, guys? This project doesn't need a venting hole in the long run because is there any trapped air in here? There's no trapped air. It has a lid. So technically you don't need a hole later on, but I just put a hole in this so that I could shape it. Okay, but up here on the top, that's where my sculptural handle is going to go. So for this project, I really want you to think about a theme. All right, what's going to be the theme? Is it going to be a nature theme? Is it going to be a sports theme, a food theme? Maybe it's a theme from your favorite video game or cartoon or a movie or something. Okay, this is a pretty good. Now I'm going to erase that. I'm going to get rid of that venting hole. So now that's looking a little bit more like a box. Square the top off a little bit. That's looking pretty good. What is your theme going to be? Now, there are lots of tools around the classroom. I'm going to show you a couple now that you could use to start thinking about your theme. If maybe you're a little stumped right now, you're a little low on creativity. It's into the first few weeks of school now, and you're like, I don't know what to put on the top of my box. So let me show you a couple tools that can help with that brainstorming process. You've got your box shaped. Now what? Well, let's look in the cookie cutters. You guys, I have tons and tons of cookie cutters. Look, I immediately found 2 snowflakes. What if I do a winter theme? What if I was to roll out a slab, cut out a little snowflake, and maybe there's a little snowflake on the top of my box? That might be kind of cute. I like that idea. Let's keep digging. What else is in here? Now, some of these are too big. Let's move aside those. But what else do I have? Oh, look, here's some leaves. Wait a minute. Didn't Miss New show me a leaf one that had kind of a fall theme? Ah, well, I see a leaf here. I see a star. There's some hearts. Hey, what about this leaf? That's cool. What if I want to do a fall theme? So dig around in here, see what there is to see, like pumpkins. See if something in here, little acorn, something in here might spark an idea for you. Okay, so I'm just going to pick out a few that I kind of like here. I like these fall ones. We'll stick with those. I'm going to set those aside and I'll show you how I'll use those in a minute. So cookie cutters are your friend. Look through the tools. Hey, look, here's a dog bone. What if you did a little box and you put a little dog bone on the top with the name of your puppy? That would be super cute. And then you put his little treats in there. Well, that'd be some small treats, but you know what I mean. Or the name of your cat or something. Okay, so looking through here, getting ideas, cookie cutters, number 1. They live in the big bin that says cookie cutters. Okay, there's a couple of them up there. Next up are the sprigs. So the sprigs look like little pieces of fired clay because that's what they are. So you can make your own sprigs. It's very simple. For instance, this person brought in their little plastic dinosaurs from when they were little. We pushed them into clay, we bisque fired it, boom, you have a sprig. This person brought in some wheat, some natural elements. This person brought in, I think it was an old keychain or something. This person brought in a seashell. So the way that these work is you take a little bit of clay and you push them in, and they're basically a mold, okay? They're like a little mold. So let's see, let me go back to these dinosaurs because they're really cute. The way that I would use them, I would get a ball of clay. I would find what I want to use, make sure it's clean-ish, and then I'm going to push it in. Make sure I have a little bit of clay to grab and pull it out. Push it in real nice. And dinosaur. Oh my gosh, this would be so cute. What if I slipped and scored this on my box and around, and I made like some sort of Jurassic Park theme. Now I could also cut him out and, you know, use him that way. Let's try one of these other ones. What's this one? This one looks like it could be a little like pine tree or something. Maybe you like to go camping. Maybe you have, I don't know, some sort of small items like jewelry or, I don't know, mementos or something from a trip you went on this summer. What's this one gonna do? So sprigs can be really fun. Bring in old junk jewelry, old keychains, little toys, anything you can press into clay and then rinse off. And dun, da, 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 we fire it. Okay, this is adorable. So now I can just go in here. I could cut out this little pine tree. I would do a better job, but just to show you. You guys, there's all kinds of sprigs that kids have made in the past that are hanging out in my classroom. Look at that. Okay, boom, sculptural handle. Or guess what? I put it on the side and then I cut around it for my key. I make a camping box and I, you know, think about the cool camping trip I took this summer with, I don't know, my family or whatever. Okay, so sprigs can be really fun. There's also a couple little stamps in here that kids have made, and these are actually really fun to make too. So look around in the tools for things like cookie cutters and sprigs and things that might give you an idea for your box, and keep it simple. This one here is actually a sprig we have over there. It's a wooden carved sprig with this cute little koi fish. Boom, pop in the sprig. You've got your sculptural handle done. Okay, so sprigs, cookie cutters. Think about the tools around the classroom for this. All right, guys, let's go back to those cookie cutters for a second. If you wanted to use one of the cookie cutters, you're gonna need a flat piece of clay. So what you're gonna wanna do is go in the drawer that says canvas cloth and get a little piece of canvas cloth down on your table before you try to roll a flat piece. Because if you don't, then this clay will stick to the tabletops. I know it's a bummer, but it does, okay? You're gonna get a little piece of clay, kind of flatten it out. Now I also have a couple surfaces in the room that are already covered with canvas cloth, and you could also stand up and use one of those surfaces. I'm gonna go in the drawer that says rolling pins, which is right next to the canvas cloth drawer, and I'm just gonna roll out a little flat piece. Now, Miss New says it can't be too thick and it can't be too thin. So how thick am I getting? Is it the thickness of my pinky? That looks about right. I don't want it to be too thin. And now I can get in here with these cookie cutters. So let's say I wanted to do, where'd my pumpkin go? Do I still have my pumpkin? I want to do my pumpkin. Okay, now I can go ahead and press this in and cut it out, but some of these are kind of small, and ones like this don't cut out very well at all. So ones like this, what I might suggest is just pushing them in and then not trying to push them all the way through, but you're going to pull this back out. Okay, I love that leaf. That could look really good as a sculptural handle, but instead of trying to push that all the way through, even ones like this where things get a little small, I'm going to just kind of get the shape on there, then get in here with my needle tool, and I can use that as a guide and kind of cut this out. I could also use a fettling knife to cut this out, which are over by the needle tools as well. And voila, I have something I could slip and score to the side of my box, or I could use it as a sculptural handle. So let's say I have this guy here. Now I would take some time, I would go around the edge. Let's see, I lost my sponge, but I would go around the edge, here's my sponge, and I would clean this up and I would make sure there's no sharp bits and all that. But let's go back to my little box here. Maybe he goes on the top like that. It's a little big. It's a little big for my box, but you get the idea. Or maybe it goes along the side like that or something like that. The other thing you could do is you could cut part of it. So let's say that looks a little big. I could maybe cut a little bit of this off and then just have it kind of like that so that it's sticking up, you know, so that I could grab it or something like that. So think about the cookie cutters that are in the room and how you could use them. They can make quick work of this project. And the best part is they might give you a good idea of what to do. So again, you'd want to slip and score. I really want you to decorate your box all the way around. So really think about what else could I do here? So let's say I am going for a fall theme. Could I take maybe my pumpkin here, or I guess it could be an apple shape, and could I maybe just press it in like that? And then maybe I go ahead and carve the rest and make it kind of a Halloween theme or whatever I am doing, okay? So think about the shapes that are already in the classroom, whether it's the little cookie cutters or the sprigs, and how you could utilize those on your box. You want to design the whole thing, and you'd want to slip and score your handle on really, really well before moving into day 2, which is cutting the lid. It might even be day 3, depending on how far you get. Okay, but there's a really quick description of your 2 pinch pots. Slip and score them together, blend them, kind of shape the box, and then think about what your theme's gonna be. Yeah, so have fun with this one, guys. I can't wait to see what you do. All right, I'll see you later. Bye. Also, real quick, I'm gonna wanna store this on a board, wet paper towel in a bag, but you guys already knew that, right?